Live from the city of angels. My God, Trump just kept droning on and on and on. Listen, what is Weber's law number one? MMT rule number one is less is more. Trump, pay attention to rule number one. As I tapped the sign repeatedly, just kept going on and on and on. Tonight is our Twisters opening night preview show, box office numbers, your reactions to the movie. Did you see it tonight? What do you think this one's going to do box office wise? I've got all that coming up, along with an MMT evaluation of a new horror film that I really did not like. And we're going to drag critics again, because critics are calling this thing a good film, and it's by far not that. But we start with our ticket sales, as always, here on Thursday night. MMT seat check, bang, here we go to the AMC app, and we look at Twisters Century City. This was the 8:15, went off about almost an hour ago. We were going to start an hour ago, and then Trump just kept going. Over 1 million people watching that speech. So I figured, let's just wait. Let's let him continue. Let him wrap. I didn't think it would take an hour and a half. And then we'll do this. Twisters looks really good here. This is pretty much sold out. Front two rows are open. It's always going to be that way when you look at an IMAX screen. This is also important to note when we talk about Twisters here. We're talking about a film that the majority of people want to see on a PLF, on an IMAX, on a Dolby, on a Prime, on a RDX, 4DX, whatever it is over at Regal. Those are the premium large format screens. And if you're going to go see a film like Twisters, even though I'm not a fan of the film, and we'll talk about why again tonight, if you saw it come in, I know you're underwhelmed. I know you were, because it is very much of a disappointing film considering what it maybe could have been. It's just not that exceptional at any real level, except for Glenn Powell. We love the guy. Let's go to the next place we swing to from Century City. We go to the Grove. Looks great there as well. This one went off at 8 o'clock, so an hour ago here, and we look at Universal. This is the giant IMAX screen. I saw it on Monday night. If you want to see my reaction in full, go look at that. It's on the Midnight Movie Talk YouTube page. Joining us here on X on this Thursday night. MMT, thanks for being here. You can see, again, looks fantastic. You do not want to be up close at AMC Universal IMAX. You're going to be in big trouble, because that screen's massive. You don't want to be in really the front 4 rows. Row 5 and back is manageable, but it's not ideal. And then we go to my stomping grounds down the street. I was just here hours ago. AMC Burbank. Dolby looks really strong. IMAX was pretty solid as well. I'm going to put this thing at $68.5 million. That's a really strong number, guys. This is a 4-quad film. Now, listen, those of you who never watched MMT, because you just got done watching Trump, you're like, who's this guy? And why is he talking about Twisters versus what Trump just said? We'll talk about what Trump had to say. We'll bring some of that, into focus and discuss what we liked and didn't like in a few minutes. That's not what we do. We talk about movies. We talk about box office. We talk about evaluations. Talk about the movie industry and cinema. And let me tell you, when you look at this film, it's a 4-quad film. That means you're talking about young, old, female, male, right? Pretty much everybody is in on this film. You can see kids coming into this thing. You can see certainly nostalgia play, Gen X with a 96 Twister. You've got all of that in play here, and you're looking at an audience that could be similar in demographics to a Top Gun Maverick. This will not be a Top Gun Maverick. It is not a Top Gun Maverick. As I said today on Twitter, if you call Twisters Top Gun Maverick, it can't even be close to that, because this has nothing to do with the 96 original aside from the Twisters. So if they made Top Gun Maverick and only had the F-14s in it, that's what that would be akin to. If you haven't seen Twisters, trust me, there's no Helen Hunt. Obviously, we know that Pullman's not Bill Pullman. What's it? Paxton. Paxton's not being dug up from the grave, right? That would be really eerie and a little bit off-putting. But how do you not have Helen Hunt in this movie? You have to make this Daisy Edgar-Jones's mom, and it's not. And you're like, what were you doing? This was as poorly executed a sequel as you want to call it, or if you want to call it a remake, whatever you want to do. I'm telling you, this has no DNA of the 96 original aside from the tornadoes. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. Okay. Simone, Twisters was good. They were dragging parts, visual effects great, characters were one-dimensional. You're being too kind. I mean, this is not... I went back in to watch a little bit of this film after I watched Oddity, a film that I really don't like. We're going to discuss and destroy momentarily. But Twisters just doesn't have what you're looking for from emotional aspect. I think even the visual effects are not that impressive. Better than 96. Guys, we're talking about 28 years later. It better be better. But I have this at 67.5, and look here, according to Deadline, looking around 7 million in previews. If you watch MMT, of course you all do. #1 movie show on planet Earth, certainly on Twitter live. Nobody can touch us. When you look at this film, it's 7 million tonight. If that's the case, Deadline's reporting it. They're usually dead on. I will tell you that it's a 10x multiple of the Thursday night. 10 times 7, 70. But I think that in this case, we might be going higher than that because you had the Trump speech tonight. Trump folks are going to see Twister. This film has so much country music, Americana in it. Every single transition in this film is some country act playing some good old boy song as they drive around in their Ford F-150s chasing tornadoes around Oklahoma. Guys, listen, I'm going to tell you quickly why this film's not great, and I'll go through the reasons like I'm talking lightning pace in a moment, but this will be a successful film. The question is this: can it do well next week when Deadpool Wolverine comes in and blows everything out of the water? I say yes, because we've got a situation where we have a Barbenheimer. There's no reason we can't have two films in the marketplace at one time doing big business. We saw it with Barbenheimer, and we'll see it again here with Twistpool, I think, next weekend. I don't believe that the word of mouth on this film is going to be nearly as high as it was with a Top Gun Maverick. You know, a lot of people saying it's, very similar. No, first of all, no way. Maverick destroys Twisters, okay? No contest. But the problem this film is going to have next weekend is it loses the PLF screens, right? Premium large format goes to Deadpool Wolverine. They'll get virtually everything. Twisters might get Prime, like a couple of screenings, but next weekend we're looking at a $200 million opening in Deadpool Wolverine, right? Somewhere in that area. In that neighborhood, you're going to get the PLF screens because the PLF screens are more money for the studios. The studios want those screens, and you want those screens to be full. Which is going to be more full next weekend? Deadpool Wolverine in IMAX or Twisters in IMAX? That's why if you want to see this film, and I don't suggest you run out to see it, that you go see it this week in IMAX and Dolby, because it'll be gone next week. You won't have a chance. Quickly, let me tell you why this film is not great. If you didn't catch the reaction stream the other night, this is going to be bang, bang, bang. You ready? First of all, it's a beat-for-beat remake of the 1996. If you put the 96 version up and this film and ran them at the same time, hit play, they're going to hit the same moments throughout the entire film. It's like we took the outline and just reshaped it and moved some furniture around and created a version that has zero ties to the original. That's a major problem. Helen Hunt has not been in a film I've seen on a big screen since you go back to The Sessions back in 2012. Small film, I believe it was Searchlight. You had John Hawkes in that, and she was the nurse. Dude, that's been over 10 years, a decade of no Helen Hunt. How do you not get her in this movie? I mean, how do you not find a way to work Helen Hunt into the role of Daisy Edgar-Jones's mom? I can tell you how, because they probably went to her and said, hey, here's what we're going to offer you. We're going to offer you like $200,000 to show up for a few days' work. And she's like, no. In this case, I know Helen Hunt's not a box office draw, but if you want to at least give some fan service to the folks that like that, love that 1996 version, then you need to give her the money. Let her come back. Let her step into the role that everybody loved. I mean, listen, is it a great film, Twister? No, I just watched it the other night to remind myself of the film. It's not even an Armageddon. Okay, someone said you don't like Armageddon. I love Armageddon. Armageddon's amazeballs. I watched that 100 times. I've seen it probably at least 10 times. That film is really great for what it is. This Twister's not, okay? The thing that Twister has going for this film, that film versus Twister's here, is you had the dynamic of, I keep wanting to say Pullman, Paxson, and Hunt, who are going through the divorce. He's trying to serve her papers, and you've got the love triangle. Remember, I told you the love triangle here is between two dudes and a girl. In the first one, it was two girls and a guy. So all they do is flip it. That's it. This whole film is just literally just slight tweaks to the original. It's absurd. The fact that you have Daisy Edgar-Jones driving her truck into the middle of an F5 tornado to unleash the payload of tornado bug spray to dissipate the tornado is laughably horrible. And almost as bad as the 96 version where they drove again into the middle of the tornado to release the balls into all that, which this film does as well. This film is only good for one reason. It's Glenn Powell. Glenn Powell's a stud. We have our man crushes here on MMT, and Glenn Powell is one of those guys. I sat with him at Critics' Choice about almost 7 years ago now, and I remember looking at the dude going, this guy is going to be a star. I called Glenn Powell before Glenn Powell knew he was going to be a big star. That's how we roll here at MMT. If we say it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Twisters will be a pretty solid opening this weekend. Comments, did you see the movie? Come in and give it to us. Gone Girl's on the comments here tonight. We'll talk about Trump momentarily. A few things I like, a few things I don't like. Obviously, I mentioned off the top, you can't go an hour and a half. Less is more, man. 1 hour. He starts to go too long in certain spots. It's like so many films that I sit through these days. You have to know how to self-edit. And the fact that nobody on his team said this is too fucking long. And same thing with the movies. Every single movie. Twisters, it does not need to be 2 hours. It should come in at 1:45. This is a detriment to your actual final product. Same thing for Trump here tonight. Twisters domestic box office. Total run prediction, 150 to 200. You're low. You are way low on that, Kevin. This film's going higher than that. No question. It's going over 200 million. I wish the film were stronger and I'd feel even more confident in the film. I don't, but I still think 200 million is easy, and it'll end up making another Twisters because it'll do probably 400 million worldwide at least, and then that works a scenario where you can get another film because these films didn't cost that much to make. This film wasn't a fortune. What was the budget on this? I'm going to go with 100. I don't think it's over that. So you're talking about a film at 100 that's going to make. Remember, Warner Brothers and Universal are in on this, just like they were in 96. They just flipped it, where Universal has the domestic and Warner Brothers has the international. In 96, it was flipped the other way around. So you look at a film that's going to be profitable for these guys, and then it gets to streaming, they make more money, and digital, all that stuff. So this is a film that will be successful for both those studios. I think the cinema score will be a B+. That's not going to be good. Simone, if this is a B+ cinema score, remember, we have to say this so many times. We talk about the cinema score. Cinema score is graded on a curve. Okay, so if you have anything below an A- on a film like a Twisters, that's bad. Okay, B+ is good in college if you're trying to get by and try and just get out of the school, which whoever might have been trying to do when I was back at Ohio State way back when. But when you look at a cinema score, it's not great. You really want an A- because it's so top heavy. Most people are forgiving, not Weber. I mean, God, when I get one of those cinema scores, I go F, D. I mean, that's just how it goes because these films, a lot of these films like Oddity, not a great film. So I think that that's going to be problematic if that comes in at B+, not good. I want to mention this. Daisy Edgar-Jones, Kate, apparently the granddaughter of Joe. Well, here's the thing. She might have turned it down. There has to be a way to get Helen Hunt in this. You have to make it happen, right? Listen, bring me in. I will go to Helen Hunt and say, we're going to give you $500,000 for 1 day. 1 day. I'm going to give you $500K because that's how important I think you are to this new version of Twisters. No one did that. That shouldn't ever occur. And those are the kind of things that drive you crazy. It's a huge mistake and it should never happen. And, Universal and Warner Brothers, they both teamed on this. They both completely dropped the ball on no Helen Hunt in this film. Some tie to the 96 version. You have to do it. Okay, I'm going to mention it right here because, listen, this is not a 5 out of 5 film. I need everybody to understand this is not a 5 out of 5 film, but according to tonight's film fraud, Robbie Collin, who writes for the Telegraph. Telegraph's a big paper, right? London-based, right? UK paper, and this guy is out of control. I don't think Robbie Collin knows what the fuck he's talking about. This guy gave this film 5 out of 5. Do you see it here? Twisters, 5 out of 5. A film that might have written off as a faintly desperate revival of an aging blockbuster brand is in fact the most wholehearted, warm-blooded, meticulously crafted good time at the movie since Top Gun Maverick. The fact you say Top Gun Maverick with Twisters instantly. This guy writes for the Telegraph, but it's not just Twisters. This is why he's our film fraud. You ready for some more? That this guy is out of fucking control. Quiet Place, day one, 4 out of 5. You've got to be kidding me. One of the most underwhelming movies of the year. The wrong director for the film. Maxine, 3 out of 5. That's too kind. The ending of Maxine, the worst final act. And let me tell you again, for those who've never watched, here we go. Ty West, you fucked yourself so hard by giving us the version of Maxine you did, and you don't have any friends. How do you not have friends, Ty West, that told you this is not good? I mean, you have to have someone in your inner circle who tells you what you're trying to do, Tarantino-esque, with the end of this film is borderline train wreck. And forget I said borderline. It is disastrous. And Ty West, I actually, in a way, as much as I adore, and you see him over my shoulder, X and Pearl, as much as I adore those films, I love to see a director make a mistake as truly catastrophic as what he did, because it'll bring that ego down, bro. Your ego was too high, and Ty West, you paid the price. Maxine's going down hard right now. There was no one in the movie today. I walked into the screening. There was one dude in the corner tonight when I went to go see Oddity. Oddity had more people than Maxine, an IFC horror film that sucks balls. Okay, continue. There's more. There's more from this guy. Horizon, 4 out of 5. Horizon has 4 out of 5. This guy is out of control. This might be the biggest film fraud on planet Earth when you add in the fact he writes for a major publication. Okay, Furiosa at 5 out of 5. That's one I'll give to him that's correct. If at 4 out of 5, insanity. King, the Planet of the Apes, 4 out of 5. This guy likes everything. Hold on, Fall Guy, 4 out of 5. He gave 5 out of 5 to Wonka. Guys, we all saw Wonka. Even Simone, who, if you may or may not know Simone, I'm going to out you. People know that it's you, from Chalamet, Club Chalamet. Listen, even you know that that's not a great film. So the fact that Robbie Collin's out here telling us these films are 4 and 5 out of 5, this dude needs to be put in timeout. As we were bantering about in the early discussions while I was getting ready to start the stream, Gongo, give me a couple of those comments. We were talking about how if I were a warden at a prison, that if I had these writers who write some of these films, they would be there and they would never get out. They would definitely not be paroled. They would be sentenced to hard time for literally forever. Exactly. Dieter, this was the comment. I would flood the prison with all kinds of writers who are untalented, directors who made massive mistakes, like Chazelle, like Ty West. I mean, even an Oz Perkins coming off of Long Legs with what he did with that supernatural doll angle. These people need to serve time behind bars with no chance of parole for no fewer than, in some cases, 5 years. Chazelle for Babylon, that is a 5-year sentence with no possibility of parole. Ty West, I'm going to give you a year because you gave us X and Pearl. I'm going to let you off easy with Maxine, but it really should be a longer sentence. But I feel some generosity in my heart. I'm going to give you a year. Oz Perkins, I'm going to give you a couple of months because I like Long Legs overall, but the supernatural, the doll, and the Annabelle, It Follows kind of bullshit tacked onto that film, you really destroy it. So 2 months is really kind, but I'm still giving you 2 months. That's what we're going to start doing at the end of every review. We're going to give a prison sentence for whoever deserves it. In this case, who I just mentioned. We'll talk about tonight's film momentarily. I walked out of Wonka confused. Everyone was loving it. Sully, first of all, Asphalt City. Second of all, you're not wrong. Wonka is so underwhelming at every level, from Chalamet to the songs to, I think, Paul King's direction, not even as great as you look at effervescent Paddington 2, to really, truly classic films. And then you come up to Wonka and you're like, what's off? There's something not working. And the songs aren't good. The script's not funny. I think that even Chalamet is in over his head. He's not weird enough. He's trying to be weird. He's like, take it up and then take it on. When you got Johnny Depp, he's just a fucking weirdo. And I'll tell you what, Chalamet, and someone said this about Timothée Chalamet when we talked about him possibly being an asshole. We talked about that Sunday. I'm not going to bring it up again tonight. We've talked about the article back to Sunday night stream. When you look at Chalamet, I think the problem with him, and I mentioned this so many times, and this is why MMT's number one, no one can touch us. When I watch Timothée Chalamet, I watch someone who's sitting on it. He's not fully able to express himself. He's putting a lid on what he does. And when he doesn't, he tries to do too much. It's kind of right. So you're looking for somebody who's able to be relaxed, and then if need to, modulate levels up to, in this case, when you look at a Wonka, you've got to go kind of make a bat shitty Johnny Depp kind of thing going on, or Wilder, whatever you want to go with. You've got to be able to go there. He can't. He doesn't have that, and I wonder what's going to happen with him. Is he going to be exposed? Bob Dylan. I can understand. I would never. I'll tell you what, if you ask me, hey, Weber, we want you to be in a movie and we want you to play an iconic, no way, there's no fucking chance. If you want me to remake Talk Radio with Erick Bogosian, I can make that film in my sleep. In fact, that's what we do. Essentially, we are basically making Talk Radio right here on MMT every single time we go live. If you haven't watched that movie, go watch it. You'll be like, one of my buddies, Britain's always like, you are, whatever the fuck that guy's name is, it's Talk Radio, you are him. Horizon, exactly. Sadfik, listen, I'm going to do this quick. I'm not going to go off on Horizon again like I always have. I've been doing this so much lately, but I got to do it again. Guys, listen, I talked to Gone Girl before the stream started, and we had a discussion about what I always really believe to my very core. There are some films you can't be wrong about. You cannot be wrong about Babylon. You cannot be wrong about The Whale. You cannot be wrong about Beau is Afraid, and you cannot be wrong about Horizon. If you are wrong on any of these four, there's many more, but I'm just picking four recent films. If you are on the wrong side of history on either any of these films, one, let alone all four, like our other film fraud, Sean fucking Fantasy, the biggest fraud in the entire film Twitter space. A man who has no taste, no talent. Watch him do a live stream. It is edited. He can't do what we do. I would bury his ass. There would be one punch, gone. Fantasy, where'd he go? He got buried. He's already, we took him to the hospital and they're thinking about cremating him. It's not even a contest. And let me tell you, yet he's the king of film Twitter. Oh, Fantasy knows everything. He liked Babylon. He liked The Whale. He liked Poor Things. I bet you he liked Horizon. Horizon, from a directorial standpoint, is as unimpressive as any film that I have sat through, possibly ever, certainly in the past numerous years. And I tell you guys, I would bring it up right now, but it would get me in big trouble from the director who sent it to me on my Twitter, direct message. Oh my God, everything you said about Horizon is correct. I can't believe that Kevin Costner directed this. This has zero feel, zero restraint for scenes, zero edits where the scene should end. Horizon, there is, I don't care. And I know Seeking God's Will's here and wants to argue. I'm not arguing it. There's no arguing Horizon. We're not even going to go there, because if you argue Horizon, you are arguing the end of any opinion you have for the remainder of time on planet Earth. There's no room for error on that film. Zero. And listen, the problem we have in the space, and trust me, Weber's the only guy who's not. You have so many people that are anti-woke. Then the other crowd that's hardcore left. Weber's neither. And when we come in here, we're able to savage Costner for Horizon when you have people like Jason Whitlock, who's a hardcore conservative, who sometimes I actually agree with what he has to say, says that Horizon's an amazing film. Oh my God, incredible. You're like, Whitlock, I had to go in and go, dude, you need to stop talking about movies. Guys, you don't understand. When you say Horizon is incredible, you help me out. It is over. There's no return. There's no fucking return. I mean, you wonder, here's why I'm shaking. Because guys, there's no argument. There's not even any room for debate on Horizon. And the fact Warner Brothers took that movie, I'm almost done. I can't. Every time Horizon comes up, I have to bury it further into the earth. We have to throw more and more dirt and kick it. And actually, we're going to go itchy and scratchy on it, and we're going to dig it up, shoot it again, and then set it on fire, and then bury it again. That's how we're going to do Horizon. I want to watch that Itchy Scratchy. You know what? Just for the hell of it, I'm going to find the Itchy and Scratchy where he shoots him and he goes down the well. Okay, listen, guys, this is going to get me in trouble with the live shit, but I don't even care. I'm going to find it and I'm going to play it for it. Let's see. Let's find an Itchy and It's me. Everybody always asks that. What is this guy? I just want to watch the moments. Okay, here's some Itchy and Scratchy. This is us to Horizon. That's me and that's Horizon. That is me with the Tommy gun, and Horizon was against the wall with all the bullets. Fuck Horizon, and Kevin Costner, you are an embarrassment of a director. And I'll tell you what, the fact that you made that movie and no one told you this film is shit is embarrassing, just like Ty West with the end of Maxine. Let's watch one more Itchy and Scratchy thing. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the whale thing. The whale thing's great. Give me a second. I'm going to get in trouble for showing this, but I just don't care. I don't care anymore. Here it is. This is a good one. This is a good one right here.
We interrupt this cartoon for a special report. Special guest director, Quentin Tarantino.
Guess I'm stuck in the middle with you, and I'm wondering what it is I should do. It's so hard to keep the smile from my face, losing joy and I'm all over the place.
What I'm trying to say in this cartoon is that violence is everywhere in our society. You know, it's like even in breakfast cereals, man.
This is us with Horizon. I'm going to get hit with a copyright strike. I don't even care. Horizon's the worst film I have seen in forever. And F Kevin Costner and Warner Brothers' New Line. The fact that you guys took that film in. You said yes. Tonight's MMT evaluation is moments away. And this is a perfect example when we look at Horizon and we look at the film we're going to discuss here in seconds. These are films that if you showed me, and I'm at Sundance, I'm at Toronto, I'm at any film festival, and you say, here's what we have. Do you want to bid on this film? I am 20 minutes into Horizon. I'm walking out. In our movie that we're discussing here tonight, the MMT Evaluation Oddity, I am walking out within 10 minutes max of this film starting. This might be the most unimpressive horror film that I have seen in many a year. This has been, can I say, because you guys are all like, Weber hates everything, 2024 has been one of the worst years ever for cinema. Worst years ever. Here's a taste of Oddity, and just here's what I want you to pay attention to when I show you this. I want you to watch some of the most generic editing and atmosphere of any horror film you'll ever see, but yet, by the way, just wait. The critics are saying this thing is 98% fresh. This is why you can trust roughly 2% of critics, and yes, I'm in the 2%. Here's Oddity. I'm going to get hit with a copyright strike. This is IFC. They're usually pretty cool. Let me tell you the number one problem with this film. There's a lot of problems. There is zero artistic flair. When you are crafting a film as a director, you have to impress me from a technical standpoint. You have to give me cinematography. You have to give me cool edits. You have to give me an interesting score. You have to give me an overall assembly that's going to get my attention. Go back, and a lot of people say, Weber, you're so wrong about Smile. No, I am not wrong about Smile. Smile is a future horror classic if it's already not. Here's what you notice when you watch Smile. You watch flair with direction. You watch someone who has very massive talent, I think, from a directorial standpoint. And when you watch Smile 2, the trailer, you see that he's even gone further. When you look at Parker Finn, you see somebody who has it. When I go watch and I go back and I look at my number one film of 2020, 2021, Saint Maud, you look at Rose Glass. That is someone who has it. This person, whoever directed this, I haven't even bothered to look. This person has zero artistic ability when it comes to filmmaking, and that's incredibly not going to work for me. Zero tension. The scares aren't there. The performances are borderline laughable. They're very much of a lower level TV show quality. The only thing that's positive about this film, Oddity, is the fact that it's short. It's an hour and 37 minutes long, but I'll tell you what, I felt like I was in the theater for 2 hours. I wandered off with my phone and watched on the side where there's like the tunnel, you know, where you can sit in the tunnel where no one can see you're on your phone. I'm watching. The film's terrible, guys. You got to trust me. It doesn't matter if I'm looking on, Twitter, I'm checking out what's happening with Trump, and it's a big night with all kinds of shit going on. I'm watching this shit movie Oddity, and I'm like, this is so bad that I'm telling you guys the only reason this film has a 6% is because it's a full movie, which gets you 5%, and it's short-ish, and it gets you 1%. 6%. But guess what? If you listen to the folks on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's go see what Oddity is on Rotten Tomatoes. You guys, what do you guys think it is? Just because we know that critics suck. No joke, guys. I'm not kidding you. 98% of critics suck. Well, guess what? 98% like this film. This is not even close to being fresh. Do you see the audience score? 58. It should be lower. Guys, I'm telling you, listen, I'm going to have to do it again. Weber's doing it. Here he goes. Oh, I can't believe I have to do this every fucking stream, and I love doing it. We have so many people in the film quote critic space that have zero talent, not even a little. They don't have any. They think that because they put on a hat that says film critic, they are good. You have to do this for a decade. You have to do it for years. I've been doing it over a decade. You've got to be doing it for a long time and show over time that you have ability to assess, to evaluate these films and be accurate. When you're calling Wonka 5 out of 5. When you're calling Oddity a good film, a great film, what a debut, you are telling the world that you don't have a clue what you're talking about. And that makes me insane. You can understand why. Because then what happens is you all go to see Oddity saying it's 98% fresh. It's got to be good. And then you see it and you're like, this isn't even good. And let me tell you, I do understand Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes is all or nothing. I have reviews on there from when I first started back in 2013, 14, over a decade ago. Let me tell you, they give you an option. Do you want to make it fresh or rotten? And my cutoff was always C+. If you get to a 75, I can either a C, C+. 75 for me is a C. I know that sounds like a big score, but in my world, anything like 50 or below is unwatchable. This is a 6%, guys. Listen, I understand it's all or nothing. There's no way in fuck I'm putting pressure on this. It is rotten all day long. And this is another reason why people are losing faith in critics for movies like Oddity, for movies like Twisters, when people are saying it's Top Gun Maverick, for movies like on and on and on, Fall Guy. Keep going. King of the Planet of the Apes. These critics are untalented. If they are talented, they are either woke or they're anti-woke. So that eliminates them. And then if they have that, if they pass that bar, then they have to be fearless. And then most aren't. They want to fit in. Do you see what I'm saying? We're jumping so many hoops that you're asking for someone who is a red rainbow spotted, I don't even know if that makes sense, unicorn, and Weber is. The rest of them are. I'm sorry, it's the truth. My evaluations destroy the others because we know what we're talking about. That's why you don't come back here and go, you were right, you come back and say you were right about long legs. You're right. The supernatural twist was terrible. That's what we do. Mount Failmore. This film is unwatchably boring. I'm telling you, there were two guys who were drunk like 5 rows in front of me, and they were commenting throughout the movie. Any other movie, I would have gone up and had words with them. Not this movie. The girl who was sitting next to them near the end finally went up and said, "Can you please be quiet?" Because I don't think she knew it was terrible. But in a movie as bad as Oddity, I don't care if everybody's on their phone, if there's people running across the aisles, because the movie's terrible. That would make it more interesting and more entertaining to me, because Oddity is at 98%. I'm telling you, if you recommend this film, guys, help me out. Just like Horizon, it is over. It's over. There's no returning. You can't be this wrong. Let's see who actually said this is good. Let's destroy some more people, because that's what we do well. And by the way, if you want to roll up, roll up. Anybody who I destroy, roll up, because you suck. I'm just telling you do. So it's not my problem. That's a you problem. Jeanette, oh my God, the New York Times says this is coolly executed and seductively simple. Jeanette, this is embarrassing that the New York Times thinks this is a good movie. Okay? I mean, it's one thing to have people like Aaron Newworth saying it's good. Nobody cares. But it's another thing to have Kyle Smith from the Wall Street Journal saying it's great. To have, okay, Paste says it's not great. Let's see if there's someone who says it's terrible. Nobody here says it. They're all say it's great. It's not. Guys, you're going to see this movie. You're going to come back and go, holy fuck. Look at all these positives. These critics are, first of all, even if they have any talent, they have no taste. So how do you, listen, think about this. You have no talent and no taste. That's a bad, dude, that's death. But in any other, there's the much vaunted Carlos Aguiar saying this is a great film. Guys, this, oh my God, it's there. Like, God, you don't understand, guys. This is all right there for you to see. When you watch Oddity, you're going to go, you're going to come back and you're going to go, Weber's right again. These people, I'm telling you, I don't know how they continue. I don't know how they continue to write. Let's talk about something else that's okay. Oh, this is a little bit, you can't do this, Weber. Most people in the space make $0 doing this. $0. So it's not like we're going to get them to stop because they're going to get their paycheck removed. Okay. People do this because they love it. But the other half, that's great if you love it. You still have to be good at it. Again, sorry guys, I got to do it. Our society nowadays is fucked because we tell everybody they're great at everything. That's 100% not true. You guys know that. The average person is not talented at everything. In fact, there's very few things they are talented at. You need to find what you're talented at. But these film people come in and go, I just want to be a film critic. You're not good. You're not talented, man. If I did an American Idol show, we would get rid of 98% of the critics. They're gone. You're out. You're bad. You recommended Horizon. You said Oddity's great. You said Beau's Afraid is, I mean, guys, you don't understand. I'm sorry if I have to do this every time. And people go, Weber's hammering these guys again because you don't get it. Do you understand the concept that we live in a world that anybody can do anything, anyone can call themselves anything, and as such, you instantly neuter everything because you're telling me that everything's great. Everyone can do everything. You're so talented. We'd be better off, go back to the kids when I was Gen X, that you suck. And be like, well, yeah, he does suck. Not now. If you say that to a kid, those are violent words. That's not nice. You're spreading a message of violence by telling somebody that they aren't X or they aren't Y. You've got to praise them. The fuck I do. I'm not going to praise somebody for nothing. You show me the work. You show me something, and merit will earn you a better grade than 6%. This film is one of the worst of the year, and I'm telling you, this is how we build. We build with films like Oddity, Horizon, Twisters. You're all going to come back and go, Weber hammers everything because it's not good. 2024 is one of the worst years we've ever seen. One of the worst. The films I love are good. They're not as great as they are in the typical year. The films I recommend, go back and watch the best of the year. They're not the typical films because the majority of these people don't even watch half these films. And even if they do, they don't recognize that Asphalt City is gritty, grounded, near perfection from a directorial standpoint, and they don't get it. Oh, it wallows in its misery. It's unpleasant to watch. Oh, then we'll just go watch Twisters that's completely empty of any soul whatsoever, and characters that are, I don't even think one-dimensional, 0.5 dimensional. I'm shocked how bad 2024 has been for me. Only given 5 films a score above 3.5. Listen, because Sully, you're the same way I am. You get this. You're not a guy who just hands out 4 out of 5s and 5 out of 5s. You got to earn that shit. The only 5 out of 5 for me this year is Handling the Undead. Everything else is a 4. Even in Asphalt City is a 4 because the screenplay doesn't fully work the way I want it to. But most of these films are like 1, 2 at best. I mean, you're talking about a film here in Oddity that's a 0.5 out of 5 if you're doing a 5 scale. I think that's even too high, 0.2. You're talking about, films that are across the board terrible. And here's the problem. We have too many people in this town, writers that are untalented, don't have original ideas. I go and watch Siskel and Ebert all the time, and I like to see what they said about Film X, Film Y. Go back and look through time. They hammered shit right and left. Weber's the asshole. Go watch Siskel and Ebert. They destroyed directors and actors and films, but yet Weber is playing too rough. Too bad, Gen Z. I'll play rougher with you guys. Your generation needs it. Your generation's been coddled. Your generation's been told you're so great. Let me tell you something. I've seen a lot of you're not great. You're not in shape. You're not interesting. You're nothing that's really deserves to be praised. You don't get praised for just being praised. You got to do something to be praised. Blue hair does not make you praiseworthy. Come on. It's not that simple. They'd like to think it is. Look, I've got blue hair, so you need to praise me because I'm weird. Fucking A, man. Do something memorable. Be remarkable at something. Show me something of talent, not the fact that you dyed your hair green. That's not a talent. That's not making you interesting. You think it is. It's the cheap way out. Okay? It's cheap, and you're not really building anything. You're just literally asking for shock value. There's a difference between liking a movie and calling it good. Erick enjoys Firestarter. Firestarter's fun as hell. It's terrible, but it's fun. It's fun. That's what we try. Listen, Oddity's not fun. Fall Guy for the first couple minutes is fun, and then you've got the unicorn and the lime green suit and the goofy jokes that don't work and all the chemistry that's not there. Fall Guy being called the second best film of the year by the Astor Awards. I'm sorry, guys. I can't stop laughing. I literally, the moment I saw that, I go, Fall Guys, your number 2 movie of the year. This is why I don't want to be in a critics group. That's why I'm not in a critics group, because I don't want to be part. I'm not going to sit out here and tell you that Fall Guys is the second best film of the year. I'm resigning. I told you guys that at some point you have to take a stand. And I take a stand on some of these films I'm not moving off of. I'm not moving off Horizon. I'm not moving off of Beau's Afraid, The Whale, Babylon. There's no negotiation. We're not even going to budge an inch. Remember, there's a lot of people out there. Look at Matt Naglia. Naglia is wishy-washy. He'll hammer things that he knows he can hammer. He will never destroy a film that he knows is going to be an awards film. Conversely, we come out of Everything Everywhere before it opened. I told you guys this is an overrated film, and now it's a Best Picture winner. If you would have listened to me 2.5 years ago, you would have picked Tar. Okay? Tar is a masterpiece. Best film of 2022. Not Everything Everywhere. And I said it again. Here it is, guys. The Daniels have to go give that Best Picture Oscar to Todd Field. At least give him director. You can pick. Listen, Daniels, you have a choice. You can either give your director Oscar or your Best Picture Oscar to Todd Field. Whichever one you want to give, it's up to you, but I need you to have that happen by, let's say, next Monday. You have a few days to decide which one of those Oscars you're going to hand to Todd Field for Tar, for, you feel like shit winning both those, and also screenplay. You know that was wrong. Deep in your heart, you know that that was a completely laughable win across the board. So I think the Daniels really need to consider giving away one of those Oscars to Todd Field. You guys with me? Twitter's repetitive and uninspired. Listen, I like Glenn Powell, but I'll tell you what, the movie's, as bad as the movie is at the end where they're running around saving people from the twisters, like these people in Oklahoma don't know that tornadoes roll through Oklahoma, but here comes Daisy and Glenn and their posse to save people from tornadoes, even though they grew up knowing tornadoes were coming. Here comes Daisy. Thank God Daisy's going to tell us to get down into the empty pool and hang on to a pipe. I mean, guys, this is terrible. The fact they made them like superhero tornado savers where no one can be saved until Glenn Powell comes in and says, hey, everybody, let's go into the movie theater. And oh, by the way, as the movie theater's showing Frankenstein, because the tornadoes like Frankenstein. Oh, yes, this movie's bad. I don't even know. Would I give it 60%? I'm feeling that was too high. Twisters is not a great movie. And the AMC shows are like, Weber, we don't like you because you don't love every movie. Too bad. Love AMC. I went to 5 movies in the past 6 nights. I attend AMC more than virtually anybody, and I support every film that's theatrical through A-List or by buying a ticket if I run out of them. Here's the deal. I'm not going to cheerlead something that's bad, and this year's been terrible. I love AMC. I hate the movies I'm watching at AMC. Do you understand? I get it. The shills and the stock people, the AMC to the moon people want you to be relentlessly positive 24 hours a day. That's not what I do. I don't operate in that space. I don't want to. I'm realistic. Just like I said, you got to tell people the reality of the situation. If we had more of that in the world, we wouldn't be in the position we're in. Yeah, let's talk about Trump quickly. And then we'll get back to it. I'm going to mention, here's what I'm going to tell you, is I'm not going to tell you if you love Biden or if you love Trump. Here's what I'm going to do. Objectively, I'm going to tell you this. If you think that Biden can hold a candle to Trump in any kind of speaking capacity in front of a crowd, in front of an empty room with a mic, then you are compromised. That's that simple. You're hardcore left. You're hardcore Democrat. You're unreliable. I'm trying to come from the space of objectivity. And while Trump's speech tonight went on way too fucking long, I mean, you've got to bring that in an hour, not an hour and a half, just like we talk about with every movie. Bring this thing in 15 shorter, 20, half an hour shorter in some cases. Trump needed to bring this in at 105, 110. It's 130. He got long-winded at the end. You could feel it. But from a delivery standpoint, yes, he's reading a teleprompter. I used to be on TV news. I read a teleprompter. I don't have a teleprompter here right now. Everything you see is live. It's just riffed. It's going on. We just did Itchy and Scratchy. We're talking about Trump now. This show is always going to be unhinged and just wherever we want to go, we go. I don't need a teleprompter. And when I had a teleprompter, I didn't read it. My producer's Robbie, Weber, read the script. Like, fuck you guys. I'll say this. COVID's stupid at this point. If you want to go out and risk it, go for it. If you want to wear a mask, go for it. If you don't, go for it. They'd be like, get him off, cut his camera, because I'm tired of talking about the COVID death numbers tonight. That's the guy I was. This guy I'll forever be. Look at Trump. He essentially really did a nice job tonight. I'm sorry. Oh, Weber, he's a fascist. Trump's Hitler. You can't praise Trump. I'll praise who the fuck I want. Don't tell me who I can and cannot praise. In Hollywood, I don't care either. By the way, I'll turn around and hammer some anti-woke thing in 2 seconds. That's how we operate here. It's called being objective. And tonight, Trump was solid enough. I'll tell you a couple things I agree with on Trump. And I know a lot of you are gonna be Webers that no. Here's what. First of all, anyone who says I'm going to get rid of electric cars, mandates, and I'm never driving an electric car. Let me tell you when that's going to happen. I'm going to drive an electric car. Never. Like, it's not ever happening. And I know that I've been pushed. Oh, but they're so great for the environment. What about the cobalt mines? Have you seen the pictures of the mining for cobalt, the destruction of the earth? Oh, but no. Also, I really want to have an electric car so I can sit in line to charge the motherfucker for like an hour. Every time I do my run up and down Sunset, shirtless, thank you, the only critic who actually is in shape, I go by the Tesla charging station and I see like 10 cars and they're all sitting there. And let me tell you what I say. Every time I run by, there's a guy on his phone. As you know, this is Weber, by the way. This is totally me. There's a guy on his phone and he's sitting out by his car and he's sitting there like da-dee-dee. And I fly by like going, let's go. I got music pumping. I'm like, let's do this shit. And I look at him and I go, just so you know, you could be running right now. And the guy looks at me like, you motherfucker. And I go, bingo. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not wasting my time waiting for a charger. So Elon, sorry, cut my stream here tonight. I'm never buying one of your cars. Give me a car. I'm selling it. I want no part of it. So Trump's right there. Also, I'm going to tell you this, the border. You cannot tell me that we need to have a border that's wide open. Nobody if a sane mind will ever tell you that. I don't care if that makes me hardcore right wing when I tell you that we cannot have a border where you have all manner of random people coming through into the country unscreened. There's no defense for that. I don't even want to even entertain that. Don't even bother, because you're going to look stupid just like you are defending Horizon. These are things that I can get behind. The fact that I'm not going to be forced to drive an electric car, and I'm also not going to have a border that's wide open. I go back, I live in LA. I've told you this a million times. Burbank has a border. There's a reason people live in Burbank versus LA. When you go to LA, instantly homeless, all kinds of problems. When you come to Burbank, as soon as you cross it, it's like, nope, because the Burbank police come around and go, you can't be here. Hit the road. You're trouble. Leave. In LA, it's like you're running sometimes. I run down the street. I go, damn, that guy. I tell you the story. A lot of people knew this channel tonight. I'll tell you quickly. When I was at 7-Eleven, I go to 7-Eleven virtually every day. Okay. I'm not going to tell you a fib. This is what we do here. We tell truths. And I either get Diet Coke or my choice is Diet Mountain Dew. And one of the places that I found, the 7-Eleven down on La Cienega and Olympic, which is right in Beverly Hills, essentially. We're on the outside, but close enough. I go in to get my Diet Mountain Dew, of course, big gulp. I'm not getting a bottle. I want it out of the fountain, baby. And I walk in, and as I'm walking in, this is no joke. This guy is coming around the corner, and he literally looks like it's a zombie movie. He looks at me like I'm about ready to eat your face. I looked at him. And I looked at him like, you motherfucker, I swear to God, if you make a move, I'm going to unleash something you've never imagined. And he looked at me, like that moment, and he kept walking, and I went into the store. And I tell you what this clerk said. I've told the story 100 times. Everyone who's already heard it's too bad. And the clerk looked at me and goes, did you just see that guy? And I go, yeah, I just walked past him. He goes, you walked past him? You walked past that guy? He was psychotic. I go, yeah. But when you're in a position where someone's psychotic, you do not look down. I did not go like this. Because, guys, I have my tight soccer jersey on. I was looking good. I looked at him. I'm like, bitch, I swear to you, if this is how it's going to end, I'm going down with a fight that you have no idea what you're getting into. And that's what I'm saying. It's scary in this town. And the fact is, anywhere in LA, that's Beverly Hills, you got all kinds of crime being across the entire city. You've got people committing crimes everywhere, stealing cars, right? Going on chases all the time. That LA has so many police chases because we have so much crime. Today, I went into Ross. Love Ross. I will defend Ross until the day I die. That place rocks. When you find a deal at Ross Dress for Less, life is about as good as it gets. I didn't find anything at Ross today. I was kind of bummed. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I bought a new pan. I did find something. But when you walk in, you're in a holding area, like a ride, like you're going into a nightclub. Like, okay, you can come in. You can come in. Why are they doing that? Because people come in and steal shit. That's why. Listen, Coach, I know I'm at it again. Listen, I said I was only going to, I'm almost at an hour. Gone, girl, get out of here. If you want to leave, leave. I got the channel. I'm going to go an hour and that's it tonight. Guys, listen, this is what we do. I'm sorry if it ruffles feathers. I'm sorry if what you're hearing is unkind for the Generation Zers out there. I'm sorry for the film Twitter dweebs who have a problem with my delivery. Too fucking bad. I'm not changing anything I do for you nerds, okay? Every time I walk into a critic screening, I look around and go, good Lord, if this were a bar, I would get so much ass. I mean, there wouldn't even be a competition. It'd be like, Weber, you're going home with all of these people, guys and girls, and these other people are going home to look at porn. That's what every critic screen is like, and that's the reality of it, and you know it, critics, so suck it. That's the reality. Weber's being a jerk. Too bad. It's the easiest. When you walk in, you go, oh my God, this is the reason there's hookers. you just go, I understand why there's hookers in this world. I see the crowd, I see these people, and sorry, it's what it is, man. Film critics overall, very unimpressive people. Listen, and as Weber flames all these people, let me just explain something to you. You have a choice in life. You have a choice in life to either wallow in misery and not take care of yourself and look like Jabba the Hutt, or you have a choice to every day or most days go to the gym, bust your ass, and then get in shape and feel better about yourself and do better with the opposite sex or whichever you're attracted to. That's your choice. You choose A or B, and a lot of people choose A. I have chosen B, and it's served me very well in this world, and I suggest you do the same. So if it's mean, too bad. I mean, what do you want me to say? You're in shape? You want me to say you guys look like GQ models? No, none of you do. So sorry. Take some fucking pride in how you look. I mean, guys, I'm not saying everyone needs to look like a supermodel, but at least take some pride. Look in the mirror and say, I need to work on my belly. I'll go back to a story. You guys want to talk? So we're going to start a fitness channel soon. Here's the reality. I go back and I was at Ohio State way back when. And I remember one night I went out to the bars. I went out and I got drunk every night at Ohio State. My sophomore and junior year, I was blackout drunk every single night on the Ohio State University campus, going to Mean Mr. Mustard and Purity. There were a bunch of like clubs. I was all into alternative dance music at that time, and I still am. In fact, when we start the stream, often I'll play a song that I love. A lot of it's electronica. It harkens back to that time of Depeche Mode, New Order, go back to a Utah Saints, all these things. I used to be a DJ. So, of course, yes, in a rave, I was a rave DJ. So Weber's done a little of everything in his life. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Is I looked in the mirror one night coming home from Mean Mr. Mustard's at like 3 a.m. after drinking a bucket of beer. So Mustard's had these buckets and they'd sell them to you for like $3. And it was the shittiest stuff. Old Milwaukee, Busch Light, whatever. And you'd get it and you would take your little Solo cup, actually the clear cup, and you dip in, which might be Solo, and you have it and you drink out of the fucking bucket with your buddies. Okay. Unhygienic, totally gross. I would get smashed and then walk from Purity all the way back up 15th. I was in a fraternity, Kappa Sigma, and I'd walk up to the Kappa Sigma house at like 3 a.m, hammered, stammering up the yard, going, and I can't believe I'm here tonight because truthfully, I should have never made it home from the bar one night. In fact, truthfully be told, there's one night I got so drunk. This was actually when I was in TV news, not even, well, a while ago now. I was so drunk that I opened up the back door of the car. My ex-wife was driving at the time, and I leaned out of the car and I was this close to falling out of the car and go like at 60 miles an hour because I was an idiot. You know, when you do something when you're drunk, and I open the door, I was like, yeah, life's good. I was this close to rolling out. I know for some people, they're like, oh, why didn't that happen? That makes you like the person who said that I wish Trump would have been killed. So think about who you are as a person. But I looked in the mirror that night. It's the longest story ever. And I looked in the mirror and I saw a guy who looked skinny fat. And I go, this isn't good. This is a bad look for a kid who's like 22, if that. I go, I'm not looking like this ever again. So that night, I still remember that night. I'm talking about it because I can recall it exactly how it happened. I looked in the mirror and I go, this isn't good. This is bad. I don't want to look like this. And I'm going to the gym. And from that moment, I'm not even kidding you, that moment on, I've been at the gym at least 3 days a week, nonstop for years. I'm not going to say how long, but a long time. I'm no longer 28 or 22. Here's the thing. You take pride in yourself. it will pay dividends in the long haul. It's not going to happen overnight. I mean, listen, people ask me like, man, you're in good shape. How'd you do that? It's because I've been working at it for years. It's not something that happens in a month, 2 months, 6 months, a year. It takes a long time, but it's all about you putting in the effort and you being dedicated and determined and unwavering, and all those things will eventually come back to you. And listen, when I hammer the critics, I'm just going to tell you this. No one, listen, if you go in and look at the critics group, you're going to go, good God, if you guys even know what a gym looks like. I'm not suggesting you to look like you're on the cover of Iron Man or Muscle and Fitness, but at least take some pride in your appearance. I don't think that's harsh. I think that's very fair. And unfortunately, sorry if that makes someone angry. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know what to tell you. All right, I'm taking over comments. Gone Girl's like, you rambled too long. 5 minutes, and then I'm out of here. I know what we're doing. Dandelion, 100%. Robert, good comment. I didn't mention Dandelion. We'll talk about it on Sunday. This is a very good comment. It's not a great film. I like her direction a lot. I think she does well with Holler, and then her follow-up. But it's too long, and I think it's a case where a director fell in love with her film too much and needed to realize that she needed to cut this thing down and to edit it, bring it down at 135 versus 155. There's a lot of edits in there I can personally see when I watch the film and I go, this is your cut, this is your cut. And eventually some studio is going to bring me in to do a test screen, and I'm going to hook it up for like $0 versus, listen, no, I'm not going to do it for $0. I'm going to do it for $5,000, $10,000. Listen, if I'm going to come in and fix your film, I want at least $10,000 minimum, because I'm going to fix it. I'm going to make it better. In this case, go back to Dandelion, and we just talked about it. We'll talk about it Sunday. I'm not going to get into it. It's too late tonight. But I'll talk about the film. When you watch a film, you can see, here's what I would do. First of all, a lot of times I talk about strip out the score. This score's gone. Give me another score. Get rid of this composer and give me, if we can't get Reznor Ross, give me somebody who's got talent. I don't care if it's a no-name, just anybody but this. This is generic. Little things have to happen, and I look at scenes that don't need to be there. Go look at Maxine. If you haven't seen Maxine, there's a scene where she's being chased all over the Universal lot by Kevin Bacon. Doesn't need to be in the movie. In fact, it actually makes the movie worse, and it makes it goofier. It's like a Scooby-Doo episode. They're chasing each other around Universal so that she can end up at the Psycho House. This is an example of what Ty West should have not done with this film, and someone need to tell him that. And if A24, they'll never show it to me. A24 is like, Weber's the worst person ever. First of all, A24, you're the worst because you won't tell your directors no. If you would just think about telling your directors no, we'd be in a better space, because now you've got a Maxine out there that you wonder why it's not doing well, because it's not a great film. People are like, this is not the way we wanted to see this trilogy end. And that's the issue that you have when you have a director who doesn't understand where the cuts are, where the film needs to be brought down. Horizon, I'd have to cut out at least 45 minutes of that film. That's a minimum. City Line, In-N-Out Burger. Thank you. Gen X does rule. Thank you, Thrifting Channel Kai. As always, guys, we're about ready to go. This is my day I fast. Listen, quickly, I talked about, getting in shape. There's one day a week I like to only eat breakfast and nothing else, because what it does is it tricks your body into thinking that you're not going to get any more food, because obviously you're not for the rest of the day. And then all of a sudden you start to shed pounds. I don't recommend you do it all the time. I recommend you do it maybe once every 2 weeks. I do it once a week because I've been doing this a long time, but it does work. It makes your body kick in and do something a little bit different, because fasting is actually good for the body. So today, the fact I've even done an entire thing, thank you. This is a pick. This is a choice by me tonight, because first of all, do you guys see it? Two things I want to bring to your attention. One, this is the Goalkeeper Wolves kit from last year. It's one of my favorites. I haven't had it out. I love pink. Anything pink works. It works with the stream. Also, do you guys notice what's in front of me right now? Mike Flag, MMT. We are upping. Seriously, guys, just real quick before we go, look at the channel. If you were to tune in right now, and a lot of you are new, if you just watched for a second, would you not say this at least looks quasi-professional? Maybe not fully professional, but at least quasi, right? I think that's fair. And based on what you're hearing from the microphone, marginally talented. So that's pretty good. Quasi-professional and marginally talented makes for really an unbeatable combination, and this is why MMT continues to soar higher and higher. Burpees will not really. No, it's not about. Listen, and then we'll wrap, because I'm starting to like see things, because I haven't eaten. I'm like this. I'm starting to see stars and shit. Here's the deal. Here's what's going to work for you if you want to get in shape. Long haul. You have to be smart about what you eat, and you have to be very dedicated, and you cannot vary your diet all the time. You can't be like, I'm going to have a pizza tonight and then I'm going to eat rice cakes. Pizza, rice cakes. No. You don't even need to do rice cakes. You need to do, sweet potatoes. See, I told you my brain's gone. Literally, it's gone. Chicken. You've got black beans. You've got salsa. You've got avocados. These things are all healthy. They're all natural. Stay away from processed foods. Don't eat a whole bag of Fritos. They're delicious once in a while. Don't do that normally. All right, guys, that's it. Live from LA. I'm out, guys. This has been fun as always. Sorry if I rankled some feathers tonight. Whatever ruffled some feathers, rankled some people, whatever the fuck it is. I haven't eaten since like 7 this morning, so give me a break. I just did an hour. I'm Trump. Oh, no! I'm Trump without the teleprompter. I could go another half hour. It would start to be long-winded like Trump's speech tonight. So there we go. We're going to cut it like Trump should have after an hour. Oh, no, Weber, he's a conservative. Oh, but wait, I said people that are anti-woke like Gore, nonstop, Star Wars is terrible. It's the worst thing. Let's put him on trial. It's low-hanging fruit. Gore is an embarrassment of who he used to be. We'll wrap it like that. Weber's not that guy. Weber's outspoken. Weber's fearless. Weber's this. Weber's that. He is not a shill. He's not anti-woke. He's not pro-woke. He is pro-objectivity and all about merit. Live from LA, MMT. Peace out. See you Sunday night.